rice roll, which is called Banh Cuον. Typically, we usually eat this for breakfast in Vietnam, but nowadays we can eat it any time of the day we like. Instead of rice every day, this can be a little change and can be very appetizing. The ingredients are 1 bag of prepared rice roll flour and 1 roll of pork ham. You can buy this in any Asian store in the freezer in the refrigerator section. Also, jicama, shallots, fried shallots, bean sprout, mint, and cucumber. First, we're gonna pour all the flour into a bowl. I recommend stainless steel bowl or maybe a small pot, because when you put this next to the stove, you don't want to use plastic bowl. With that, we're gonna add in the water, salt, and oil. After you finish adding all the ingredients, make sure you stir well to mix them and blend them very well. Continue to whisk it until you see no more lumps or whatever that's still left behind. The texture is very loose. Now after this, we're gonna set it aside for later. With the shallots, we're gonna finely mince them, and with the jicama, we're gonna dice them as small as we can. And then with the mushroom, first you're gonna soak it in hot water and then clean them about 2 to 3 times under cold water, and then squeeze out excess water and chop them up. With that, we're gonna use ground pork. So before we start to cook everything, we're gonna prep our vegetables and get them ready for serving later. With the cucumber, you don't have to peel the skin off. You're just gonna cut them into sections like this, and then you're gonna kind of cut them into strips, but not too thin. You want a little bit thickness to it. Okay, I do it this way, but you can actually slice them first and then put them together and just cut them. To me, this is just easier way. Okay, now after you finish this, set aside. And with the bean sprout, make sure you wash them, and then you put it in a glass container and cover with a lid. And you're gonna cook this in a microwave for 1 to 1 minute and 25 seconds. Depend how strong your microwave is. And now we're gonna mix the sauce for the dipping. With this dipping sauce, it's not the regular fish sauce. It's more of a sweet, a little salty, but just a tinge of sourness, not too sour. First, you're gonna smash the garlic with the sugar. Just this method is easier for you to smash the garlic, so it's kind of blend in with the sugar. Or you can just chop them and mix them together. That's fine. In a separate bowl, you're gonna mix the rest of the sugar in with about 2 to 3 tablespoons of hot water just to melt the sugar. Okay. Now back to the other bowl, you're gonna squeeze in about 1 tablespoon of lime juice. Okay, you're gonna mix it, and then you're gonna pour the melted sugar into this bowl and mix them well, so the rest of the sugar will melt a little bit. Now you're gonna add in the rest of the water. Mix them again. It's okay if there's some sugar still remain behind. It's gonna melt anyway, so you're gonna continue to stir for a little while. Now you're going to add in the fish sauce, and you can adjust your taste. Some people like it salty, some people like it sweet, but remember, with this sauce you don't want it to be too much sourness. Now the last step is to add in the chili sauce. I'm using the one that already pre-made in the jar, but you can use fresh if you like. And we are set for this. Now we're going to head on to the cooking part. First, we're going to cook the fillings. Add about 2 tablespoons of cooking oil into a pan, and then you're going to stir you're going to cook the shallot first until it releases a light aroma, and then get ready to add in the meat. Okay, we're going to continue to cook the meat until it's fully cooked. When it's fully cooked, then you start to season the meat with salt, chicken powder, peppers, and a little sugar. You can substitute the chicken powder with MSG if you're using MSG. A little bit go a long way, because you remember this, because we eat this with the dipping sauce, so you don't want to go too salty or too sweet with the fillings, okay? And now we're going to get ready to add in the mushroom and the jicama. So right after you add these two ingredients, you're just going to cook it for a minute or two and then turn off the heat. Because with the jicama, you don't want to overcook it. It releases a lot of juice. Okay? Now after this, we're just going to turn off the heat and set it aside. And then we're going to get ready to cook our rice roll. And finally, don't forget to add your ground black peppers. This is going to bring us a little bit of flavor to the fillings. And now we are set. In medium heat, heat up the pan and then pour in the flour mixture. Remember to don't do it too thick, as thin as you can. Cover with the lid, cook for 1 minute, and then when it's done you can see it clear. If you can see white patches, it means that the flour is not cooked enough. Okay, just flip it to the plate and make sure you oil the plate so it won't stick to the plate. And repeat the step for the next rice roll. Now you're going to place the filling right in the middle and fold both sides. Or you can roll it if you want to. Okay, like this. Just fold both ends and then you're finished. And make sure when you layer the next layer of rice roll on top of each other, make sure you oil the bottom parts. And like always, best to serve this dish hot. Enjoy! See you next time. Bye!